Are your spheres aligned? Sphere stars in time. The groups of stone spheres located in public spaces might have been a means to observe the sun or other stars and marking important events for the community. This hypothesis has not been ascertained due to the removal of most of them from their original positions. Two spheres. Alignments are located in this plaza. We saw them in the last video. East, west for daily and ceremonial activities. One is made up of 3 spheres along 77 meters. The other one has 2 with a long distance of them 11 meters. The spheres measure between 1.41 and 1.92 meters and are partly buried by sediments. This is the only group remaining in their original position. Is that the ones we saw in the last video? I think so. Maybe we're going to see them next, because it still said the Diquis sphere collection. It's like a jewelry collection. Oh, we've got visitors. I think it's that way. This is like a other off into the rainforest. But here, we'll look at me instead of them. I'll hide the camera with my hand as I'm switching it. The spheres collection. Oh yeah. Hola.
Hola.
Alright, we kept 6 feet apart because the sign requests it. Please, during this tour, respect the social distancing by 1.8 meters. Recommended by the health authorities, whoever they may be. Sort of dictated by other countries at this point. Non-governmental organizations telling governments what to do. What a time to be alive, huh? Actually, it's February 1st today, 2022. Welcome to February. It's almost 2/2/22 Tuesday. Tomorrow's one of them, 2/2/22, and then February 22. It doesn't matter which way you do it; it's a bunch of 2s. All right, the banana period. ... Don't be surprised if you see persons hauling plantain bunches via cableway. It's a daily activity and cites banana. Oh, it's still they're still producing bananas. Amazing. Packing shed. So see, there's the cableway. Whoa, it's like. Whoa, very mesmerizing. Cableway all the way that way. Overhead, cableway all the way that way. Forevermore. That is a lot easier to move heavy objects on a cableway than a railway, or especially by hand or even burro. Don't have to feed the cableway too often. Alright, I see exciting things ahead. I wish I saw some exciting things in the jungle too. I do not see any cacao. It has not gone wild enough for me to pick some right now. But I wish there were more bananas I could steal from the plantation, but I also don't want to be indentured to the plantation. Why isn't there vanilla growing wild out here too? That'd be awesome. Orchid vines of vanilla. So I'm Damon, the global gardener, hiding the camera with my hand while I turn it toward me, waving hello to you. Thank you for joining me. We are at Finca 6, it's Farm 6 in Costa Rica, at the Spheres Museum, they're calling it. Which they do have an indoor space that it pretends to have air conditioning, but I was sweating in there as much as I am out here. All right, so here's an exciting part. Marbles. Pilgrim spheres. Okay, interesting. Despite their illegal removal and stone, there was no laws on them originally, but okay. Transmit the accomplishments of past societies of Diquis. The stone spheres were unlawfully extracted from their original context during the period of the Banana Company
taken other sites. They didn't even know they existed until the banana company found them, so that's a funny way to say that. With the country and abroad. Damage caused to... Think about the pyramids, like the stuff they raided out of there that Great Britain and France and everybody won't even give back. Oh boy. Damage caused... I wonder if there are any in Europe. I haven't seen any stones over there that I can think of. I bet there are, though. Damage caused to heritage with this removal. Evident, however, the presence in areas outside the delta have propitiated public interest for the... That's a fancy word. For these objects and the societies that create them. National Museum of Costa Rica's recovered a great number of them. Yeah, they're like in people's landscapes and stuff. Through confiscations, oh, they just up and take them away. Steal them back, I guess so. Why not? Or voluntarily. I'm surprised there's not like an industry of making them, but then it would confuse everything, but that's fine. So here's some of them that have been confiscated. They're like imprisoned inside of the fence wall. They cannot roll any further. Alright, and then they just plant them on gravel here. So all kinds of different materials, all kinds of different sizes, but only one shape. That one's got a moon crater. Maybe that's the Death Star of the... And then some of them are large. Like, what were they saying? There was one that was like 8 feet across. It's 3 meters or something around that. 3.5 meters? I forget now, but large. It was sounded like quite the undertaking, but you can see where the impact is of how they shape them. They just beat other stones on them until it was the shape they wanted, and really a status symbol. So it would make sense to have these in landscapes. Maybe I should start putting them in my clients' places in New York City. They can have sphere status among the edges of skyscrapers. People are always looking for more curvature to break up the just line after line after line. It's kind of intense. Sets me on edge. I definitely need more jungle time or nature time of any kind. I can only be in the city for so long. But it is fun to do weird things with plants in ways that I would have never thought, but people are happy to say, hey, can you put plants here? Well, yeah, you can put plants anywhere. I born a little too late to be involved in the Space Force, but I would happily grow plants in space if that were, because that's like my other thing, sci-fi. If I could join up with Space Force and grow plants in space, I would do that. So these are, this is the imprisonment penitentiary of recovery zone. These are, they were saying that there's sculptures that were built on pegs. They call them pegged sculptures, at the bottom stuck into the ground. And that's how they would stand up. So, but these don't look too carved anymore. And stones, man. I would think, since they got Mexico to contribute archaeologists to the project, that they would have more to build just stones so that people did have them for the landscape, because if it's a national treasure, like, yeah, promote the heck out of it. This one looks like a tennis ball. It looks like it maybe got patched, that it broke off in the last ice age. Just kidding. So I was reading that again, because I said like I thought it was 300, covering the lens again, 300 to 800 AD, but it was actually 800 to 1500 AD, and then the Spaniards got here in the 1500s. So that was the most active time that they were creating the spheres, was in the 800, right before the Spanish came. And I guess they got a little preoccupied. It's kind of funny that the Spanish weren't like, cool, stones, let's put these on the ship and send these back to Spain, or use them as, or like get them to craft cannonballs. But I'm sure it was an enormous amount of work to smash on these rocks until they were round or sculpted in some way. So yeah, so we saw the alignment of sector stones, and we saw they could have laid that out better. And I would think they would build one of the huts, like in the museum part there. They show the huts, and how and we saw some of the pictures how the river stones are laid in a foundation and probably packed together with mud, and to be higher than the flood area, since the flood's here a lot. And then had grass huts, and the larger the grass hut, the more important one was. Kind of funny how that translates through time, but they do not have representations of that. Strangely, because a lot of other museums do, but I guess they spent 3 whole years discovering the stones and finishing them in order to display them. So 3 whole years, and probably still a work in progress for recovering them, and they still have time to build the hut. But so there you have it, stones in paradise. All right, this has been your host, Damon, the Global Gardener, and join me in other videos on botanic gardens throughout Costa Rica, throughout the world, and happy trails, happy travels, happy planting. May you have all the spheres in your universe that you desire.